Hey guys, it's Maymay and it's time for another Scripture Art Journal week. And this week we're focusing on Philippians chapter 2. And I'll point it out, I spelled it wrong. I have this habit of writing Philip and not Philippians. So I get started and I messed up. But it is one L, I put in two, so don't do that in yours. But I wanted to point that out because someone will notice it. I bet you will. Okay, so Philippians chapter 2, I love this chapter and I think it's a good one for us to focus on now after we just finished talking about love. I'm going to focus on verse 3, which says, "Don't be selfish. Don't try to impress others. Be humble. Thinking of others is better than yourselves." That's the one I'm going to focus on for my scripture art. But I really want to challenge you to look at the entire chapter, especially verses 5 through about 8, probably even further. They're beautiful verses. I'm not going to read them to you now because here's what I want you to do. I want you to go read them and check it out. And then spend some time in the Word, maybe before you do your artwork. Maybe don't decide to do exactly what I did. Read that chapter and let it kind of sink in and see what God's saying to you before you do your art. But I really, really, really love this. And sometimes I'm inspired by my Inspire Bible, right? Shouldn't we be sometimes? Look at this. I'm flipping through and I get to Philippians and I look over here and there's this little be humble. And I'm like, this is what I want to do, something like that. And I remember that I have a stamp that is a bee. And I thought this is perfect for this. So that's what I'm going to use today. I had somebody ask me, why do you do this like this if you have an Inspire Bible? I use my Inspire Bible for coloring, but I use this for my journal. My heart journal is a little bit different. So the reason I want to focus on chapter 3 for verse 3 for me is sometimes we can get puffed up and good things happen in our lives and we can get a little prideful, and sometimes we need to remember that we need to be humble and think of others greater than ourselves, which is so hard to do. It's so hard to keep yourself in check, and I'm the same way. And so when I've had things that come at me and I think, oh, I'm so proud of the way I'm doing things, and then I remember it's not about me, it's about God, and it's about what He's doing through me, and it's not for me to be prideful about, but for Him to take pride in. And so I wanted to remind myself that sometimes we have to, remind ourselves to be humble. And I thought this was perfect. This is just so cute. And I wanted to kind of mimic it. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take my a yellow piece of paper, and it's bright yellow. It's almost green, but it's bright yellow. And I'm going to take some VersaFine ink on the honeycomb from my stamp set. I didn't even show you. Let me show you that because some of you might want this stamp set. This one's called the Bee's Knees. And I'm going to use that bee also. Bright, you can imagine. And this one's going to be real graphic. A lot of times when I see people do bee projects or things with bees, it's yellow and black and very graphic. Well, I'm no different. I'm going to do kind of the same thing. How do I want to turn this? I think like this. And I'm going to use this honeycomb up the side of this page. And I'm probably not going to get them stacked perfectly on each other, but I want this honeycomb to run all the way down the page on the side. Knowing me, they won't be perfect. I'm not going to stress. I'm just going to do my best. Stamp that dude down. I'm sure honeycombs are not exactly perfect, right? So, that wasn't bad. That was not bad. Let's see if we can keep up the streak. Right. And match that up. That one got off a little bit. I just know it. A little bit. Not bad. And then I just need a tiny bit to finish out the page. And that's what I wanted, that honeycomb down the side. Isn't that cool? I love it. All right, put that over there. Move my stamp so I can clean it later. All right, I want to do the bee on here also. And let me think where I want this little guy to be. To be. Ha, ha, ha. How funny. Okay. Somewhere here, because I want a lot of the little stitch line tail to head down to my wording. So I think I'm going to put him there. Him or her, whatever you prefer. Ink him up. Stamp it down. I'm letting that ink transfer on this yellow paper because it's pretty bright. Yeah, there we go. He looks good. Okay. Now then, I'm going to hand do my lettering. I tell you guys all the time, I'm not the best letterer. I just like to use my own handwriting. And for this one, I'm going to have it be a little more modern looking, I think. I'm going to attempt to do it that way. My pencil's not working. Let's try a different one. There we go. Got a lid. I'm going to try to be a little more straight up and down with my letters. But the first one is the first word is going to be B, but it's going to be like a bee. So B-E-E, just like I was inspired by my Inspire Bible. Really tall, really narrow letters, like so. And then I'm going to do humble the same way. Really tall and narrow. I think they'll be kind of funny looking. Hope I don't run out of room. I could. We'll do a skinny L and a skinny E. We just made it fit, not perfectly. And then down here, I'll write Philippians when we get to that point. Let me get a pen to darken this in. So I'm just going to darken this in where it is. And if I hadn't have written so firmly with my pencil, I could probably fix that word B, that humble word down there, and move it over. But I wrote kind of firm, so I don't think I'm going to be able to erase really well. So I'm going to go with it. But if you do this and you feel like you need to try to erase, feel free. You do what makes you happy. And you do what makes you feel free. Exactly. I want you to feel free when you're doing this. I don't want you to feel like you're in boundaries or you have to be perfect or anything has to be a certain way. It just doesn't. It just doesn't. It's your artwork and you do what you want it to look like. I try to say that every week. I try to tell you guys all the time, do what makes you happy with your artwork. Don't try to mimic something somebody else is doing. Everyone has different talents, even where their artwork is concerned. Some people are better than others, and I have the same thing you do. I think the same thing. Wow, I wish I could draw like them, or I wish I could hand letter like them, or I wish I could, paint like that. But it's not about that. It's about what God has gifted you with, and that's what matters. Don't be prideful about it, though. Not after this week's scripture, huh? Don't be prideful about it. Be humble. And then maybe I'll put Philippians right here, and maybe I'll do it in cursive. I'm not going to spell it wrong. Going to get it right this time. And it's 2, 3. That's the one I was focusing on. Now I am going to erase some down here and see what happens because I didn't get perfectly on those letters. Oh, that's working. I could have moved it. I should have tested it, but I didn't. What are we not going to do? Put it in the comments below. What are we not going to do? We're not going to stress about it, right? Everybody say it. We're not going to stress about it. That'll be cute. I love it. It is kind of lightening my paper a little bit, but no big deal. So be humble. Now the fun part. I'm going to do a whole bunch of stitch lines. This will be fun. I like this part. So stitching, stitching, stitching. Do it any way you want. These always have to have that little trail, don't they? Now again, I'm just going to be free with this as well. I don't want it to feel stiff or, like I've planned it. I want this bee to be very happily flying around the page. He might have got a little dizzy on that trail. He possibly did. Look how cute that is. I just love it. I think it is adorable. Now, one other thing I'm going to do, which might be a little bit weird, but I just think it'll look good. I have this black Sharpie laying here close to me. I'm going to color in some of these honeycomb spots. You know how sometimes the honeycomb still has the little shell over it or whatever, the little piece over it? I think it'll be cute if I just color some of these in. So they're not quite so, maybe checkerboard feeling. I don't know. Just here and there. Yeah, I like that better. I think it looks good. All right, it's simple. It's graphic. I like it. I'm not doing anything else to it. Sometimes I can overdo it. Sometimes I can be like, add this, add that. I'm going with this. Okay, so we're going to put this into our journal. And I'm just going to glue it right in just like that. I love it. So we got some glue on the back of it. I almost put it in upside down. So let's put it in the right way. And here we go. I think I cut this one a little short this week. Maybe that's why I felt like I had more space than I actually did. Look how cute that is. I just love how bright and cheery that is. Looks awesome. Hey, I'm excited to see what you guys do in your journal. And if you're a new member or just now seeing the heart scripture that we do for the first time, let me go over this real fast. What we do is we pick out the scripture, or I give you the scripture that we're doing this week. And of course, this one is Philippians 2. And then every day we do a sentence about that scripture and what it says to us, what it's speaking to us. And when we do a full chapter like this, sometimes you can just break down the chapter and do maybe the first few verses. A lot of people do it that way. So throughout the week, I'll fill in a sentence about what this means to me, and this will be full. By the end of the year, I will have been journaling every day, and it's so nice. We do this every week, Sundays at 9 a.m., and then on Thursday night on our Facebook group, which is called Hide His Word in My Heart, we do a live Bible study from my home. It's typically myself and my husband, although it was just me last week. He was not with me, but he will be back with us. He said he would never miss it again. He really enjoys it. So I hope you guys can join us there over on our Facebook group called Hide His Word in My Heart. But in the meantime, there's our journal page. I love it. Don't forget to be humble and read Philippians chapter 2. Go check it out right now. It's really good, and I feel like God has something for you there. Thanks so much for watching. Talk to you again real soon. Bye-bye.